Salman, guys. I had such a phenomenal conversation with the Oled this morning, and we're just talking about pain, um, and the lessons that Umut has learned through pain. Not necessarily just my pain, but the pain of those around me as well. And we got to the conclusion, Uguti, you cannot grow without pain. You cannot get to that next level without pain. There has to be some sort of fire that you go through, much like a cooking or baking. There has to go through some flame in order to harden you to get to that next level. There has to be a severe, painful test that you endure in order to get to that next level. And we're talking about processing pain, understanding pain, and the conversation moved and it spoke about trauma, and I was telling her about the trauma that she gave me when we were young, and how that's shaped my parenting, and she told me about her trauma and her experiences and how that shaped her as a parent. And we went into this whole rabbit hole conversation around meditation and prayer and yoga, and ultimately got to the point of self, ultimately got to the point of, like, do you have an understanding of who you are? Do you understanding of, like, ubani wena, and it's such a crazy thing, because the realization is that most of us don't know who we are. Most of us have no idea. My conversations with her was, I am parenting as a trauma response to her, and what she did. So it wasn't my own doing. If she I don't know, if she spanked us as an example, then I'm like gentle parenting. And she'll say, well, the reason why I spanked you is because my grandmother, when she raised me, was well. But again, ultimately went down to, like, we have no knowledge of self. We have no understanding of self. We have no understanding of who we truly are. And as a result, we have no idea where we're going. What am I trying to become? Who am I trying to become? How am I trying to iterate and shape myself to become better if I don't even know who I am? It's like, I feel a reason why a lot of people are stuck in life is not necessarily because they don't know who they are, which is very true, but it's because they don't feel lost. Meaning, if I know I need to get to Cape Town, me being here in Joburg means I'm not working towards my goal and my destiny or my destination. Me not even knowing where Cape Town is means that I'm not lost to Cape Town. I'm stuck and I'm not lost to Cape Town. And the only time I know I'm stuck is when I start seeing people on social media who are in Cape Town, Camps Bay, who are in the Palm, who are living their best life in Cape Town. I go, whoo. Then I get depressed and I get all these type of things, because that's when I realize, shit, my life is going nowhere. So a lot of us, because we are directionless, if you don't know where you are, you can't tell me you're lost. If you don't know who you are, you can't tell me that you're lost. So you can be stuck. And the only way you're stuck is when in relation to other people. And it's such a scary thing, because we are trying to be everything while at the same time we're not anything. We're trying to be these religious people that really don't know the Bible. Really, we don't know the Bible. We're trying to be these traditionalists, type of sigoliti, but you don't know really your tradition. We're trying to be this whole Western modern, as close as we can to whiteness, whatever, but we keep missing it. So we are a whole lot of everything and a whole lot of nothing. And it's leaving this emptiness that we're facing inside, and we end up being lost and stuck and broken. We end up being broken individuals. And it's so crazy, because with these broken individuals who have no idea who they are, but with our most extreme highest standards. And the universe is a very simple one, because the universe attracts to you who you are. That's all it is. It attracts to you who you are. If you are a drug addict or a drug dealer, whatever, and I put you in any environment in the world, I pick you up from where you are as a drug user and I put you, it's only a matter of hours until you find other drug users, regardless of how that environment may look like, because you'll attract it. I know people that love gym. I can put them anywhere in the world. They'll find a gym. During COVID, people that like training figured out how to train, whether they were carrying bricks, whether they were carrying bags of fucking maize meal, but they made a plan. People that love alcohol, you saw them trying to make traditional mqombothi. People will make a fucking plan. Let me tell you something. People will make you a plan because the universe attracts who you are. So the fact that you keep attracting broken people, the fact that you keep attracting hoes, it's trying to reveal something within you. That's what the universe does. It just tries to reveal who you are. Guys, I don't need to know what's happening in your brain. You know, I just need to see how you live your life. And then I know what's happening in your brain and in your soul. Because everything around us, everything that I see is a 3D representation of what's happening in my mind. Everything that I am is a 3D representation of what's happening in my mind. As an example, the way my body looks physically is a standard that I have set internally. So if I'm obese, whatever the case may be, understand that's my body standard. I've accepted that is my body standard. I can talk and say, no, this is the. But again, truly in the essence of who I am, that's the standard I've set. That's the standard I've set. And because I've set this obese standard, even if I force myself to date this lady with an immaculate body, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start feeding her. I'm going to feed her. So I'm going to have these high standards, high standards. And I'm going to start feeding her until she's fat like me. And then I'm going to get annoyed. Hey, fatty, why are you so fat? We see it with all these broke women. They broke, and their financial standards for themselves is being financially broke. So they are, I don't need to know their bank statements, but their financial standings is a reflection of who they are and what they've accepted. So they might make these extremely high standards. Oh, I'll never date a broke guy. She's broke. She will never date a broke guy. Perfect. Let her date a rich guy. She will spend that guy's money like it's no tomorrow. And if that guy allows her, she will drive that guy into being dead broke. Because that's what she's attracting. That's who she is. So she will destroy everything around her until the essence of who she is. You know, another example. I can give you so many examples of how the universe just attracts and who you are. My mother was telling me, the reason why we know nothing about ourselves, again, is because in our minds, or not in our minds, but in let's just say in our minds, we think of ourselves greater than what we are. There's a story she was telling me about her grandmother. Her grandmother, she was saying, or a lesson that her grandmother used to say rather, is if you took everyone's heart, you took it out of their body and you put it on, let's say, a washing line, right? And there's different hearts. There's big hearts, there's little hearts, there's hearts that are black tar, there's hearts that have worms and maggots. And they said to you, without knowing which one is yours, go pick yours. And she was saying, the reality is that most people will pick the big, beautiful red one pumping blood. But that may not be your heart. Your heart might be the one full of maggots, the one full of tar, the dark, destroyed one. But because you think of yourself in this other, your subconscious knows exactly who the fuck you are. It knows that you're this broken person. It knows that you're this inferior person. It knows that you're this person who is not ready for. You'll say, oh, I want a submissive woman. You will find her. You will find her, and you'll find her to be boring. You'll find her to be boring. You'll start being abusive to her because you're broken. So you'll break her as well until she starts pushing back. You'll say, oh, I'm looking for a guy who's loving and kind, and you'll find a soft simp guy, and you'll break him. You'll break him until he has to push back, and then all of a sudden he'll become controlling. He's so controlling, fuck him. No. You broken. Therefore you break people. You broke. So even if I give you money, it's only a matter of time until you buy things that you don't need. You'll buy the most expensive, the most useless things that you do not need so that you can go back to your baseline of being broke, because you're a broke person. I can give you the world's best anything. If the essence of who you are is messed up and needs work, until such a time where you can really truly understand who you are. I listen to guys all day thinking, how do you know that? The last fight you had was in primary school, bro. You're living an illusion. You're living this crazy, crazy life doesn't exist. Some of us know what we're doing, and when we do it, you'll quickly realize where your life is. Very, very fast. I see it time and time again where we project these type of energies that we're not. We project energies of strength. We project energies of this. Mina, when I come and I say, "Ish, guys, I'm feeling a bit insecure. I'm feeling a bit vulnerable." Guys, no, no, that's how I'm feeling. I'm trying to figure out exactly what I am. When I make videos, you shouldn't say that publicly. You shouldn't. No. I'm reflecting how I feel inside. I don't want to pretend to be someone I'm not. I don't want to add inches to my height. I'm not that. I'm trying to get to a point where I've mastered who I am. Whether who I am is something less of your expectations of me, that's okay. That's fine. And then once I know and understand who I am, then I can start working on who I am. It's like, again, the Cape Town example. Once I've figured out where I am, I can then start mapping the journey and knowing how many kilometers and steps I need to put in to get there. But I first have to figure out who I am. I first have to realize that I am this, I am not this. These are my challenges, these are my strengths. I do a full-on SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats in my own life. I need to meditate if that's the case. I need to stay in a process and in a space of prayer if that's what I do. I need to do yoga. I need to try and find out what's exactly who I am. I'm addicted to drugs. Okay, accept. That's what they say in AA meetings. The first step is acceptance. This is who I am. And then from understanding I'm stuck, or that I'm lost, or that I'm broken, or that I'm happy, or that I'm sad, or that I'm full, or that I'm whatever, then I can move into the next step. Then I can start growing. Then I can start doing this. But until that time, our brains are full of just muck. Being shaped by your childhood trauma, being shaped by your friends, being shaped by your colleagues, being shaped by your social media, being shaped by 1,001 things. And as a result, you've lost essence of who you are, your core. Your core, guys. And once you go through that painstaking exercise of removing all that pain shit, then you get to self. Then you realize you've grown. And then from there you can start that next step, going closer to your dreams, to your goals, to your destinations, to your destiny, to whatever you have set for yourself. Hey guys, but it's painful, and it's the only way that you can grow. It's the only way that you can grow. With pain, with discomfort, with change, with shame, with embarrassment. That's how we grow. That's how we become better versions of ourselves. Guys, but that's what I just wanted to share for today. Please let me know what you guys think in the comments below. These days, I just want to just vent more than anything. Maybe if there's something that tickles my fancy that I hear on the streets, I might make a video, but I just want to vent. I want to go back to the reason why we started this channel, just so that I can just take out all those things that are in my spirit. Anyway, share this video far and wide. Share this video far and wide. Hit the notification bell. Subscribe, do all those right things, and have yourselves a fantastic day. I'm out. Gantanda.